Margot Wickersham with Clearwater Benefits, and she is going to, just kind of share the news about Clearwater, also share some of the other good news if you guys are not aware, which I was not whenever she sent me a text message a few nights ago saying that Glenn Sanford is now on the board of directors of Clearwater Benefits. So I don't want to spill the beans anymore. I'm going to let her take over, and then we'll do a little Q&A or so. So we've got about 40 minutes left or so. So Margot, take it away.
Yes, I am so excited about this. We have been dreaming of this moment we've actually been working on it for a couple of years. But there on the stage, shareholders in our panel the last morning, we had Glenn Sanford, we had Brent Gove, we had Tracy Gagnon, we had Mitch Ryback and Andre LaFountain. And Glenn, and you know how he is, sometimes he drops the news when you're not expecting it. And that's what he did that morning. And so here's the news he dropped. eXp has invested in Clearwater. Woo. And Glenn is on the board of directors. And the reason for that is because of Glenn and the company's commitment to health and the understanding of how important having healthcare and healthcare insurance is to agents, what this means to just overall security and peace of mind. And there's more of a need for it every single year. So not only does that underscore, highlight, circle, and put sparkles all around the importance and the value that the company puts on healthcare, it also underscores and puts value on the realization that this is a problem bigger than realtors. And what we want to do is scale this offering to other industries. And that is big news because there's millions of self-employed people in the country who have the same problem that realtors do, which is access to only really crummy and expensive healthcare plans. And that's not going to change. It's not going to get cheaper and better every year. It's not going to get cheaper and better. So this problem becomes a bigger gulf as time goes on. So we're super excited about it on multiple levels. And we could not be happier. Apparently, Glenn has never agreed to join a board of any of the companies that they have invested in. So this is very significant, and we're super excited about it. So you guys can imagine what this is going to mean. We have been as a company, we've been hiring and training and building out strategies and plans, and it's very exciting. We just know that there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of more lives that we can help, and we're super excited about it. So I will pause right there because that is really huge news, and see if anybody's got any questions about that.
Yeah, and also real quick, great stuff, Margot. Anybody else here on the call has a testimonial, kind of like Tracy, about
yeah, great question.
Getting a quote and switching over to Clearwater and saving that money. I know a lot of other agents that are not on the call that have done that, and there's some big savings. I mean, I've heard of $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year savings, and as small as a few $100s a year. But hey, you know what? It's better benefits, and they're still saving a little bit of money. So anybody else on the call here, I would love to hear some more testimonials. Don't be shy, guys. Come on now.
Okay, well, while we're waiting, I will share with you my own personal one.
Yes, guys, listen up. This is huge.
I had the same problem that realtors have. I was self-employed. I needed a better plan. And I actually had retired teacher healthcare through my husband, who was a retired teacher here in Texas. And the first year that we got married was 2016. That was a pretty good plan. I added me and the kids. And then it just doubled in expense and went way down in value every year after that. So in 2018, we moved over to Clearwater, even though we had good insurance access. But we haven't looked back. And then in 2020, I had a battle with cancer. I got a diagnosis. Nobody likes them. I got a cancer diagnosis I wasn't expecting. I don't know that any of us really do. But it was March 2nd, and they said, well, if you have stage 1 bladder cancer, if you do immunotherapy, which is what my Austin doctor told me, then you will be dead in 12 months because you also have this second form of cancer. and it is not going to respond to immunotherapy. So you need to do everything. They actually use the term throw in the kitchen sink. I'm pretty sure that's the level of technology understanding he knew I had about cancer treatment. And so away I went into lose your hair chemotherapy, and it was 3 nights in the hospital every other week for 8 weeks. By the way, now the pandemic has started. The country's the world's in lockdown. So all of that was overnight in MD Anderson by myself for these weekends, every other week for 8 weeks. It was horrible. And then about a 6-week break. And then I had massive surgery, the most complicated abdominal surgery they do, removing organs, rerouting plumbing. And not everybody can even take the surgery. It's so grueling on your body. But that was also by myself. Lots of pain, all by myself. Terrible. It was a terrible experience. But here I am to complain about it. And the total bill, anybody want to take a guess? How much was all that? It was not cheap.
Oh, millions.
It could have been millions. It was $450,000.
Oh, okay.
And I would have done everything that I would have mortgaged the house, whatever, but we didn't have to. I'm out $1,000. $1,000.
Wow.
And I did not have somebody sitting in a cubicle at an insurance company saying, no, your first doctor says you need to do immunotherapy. We're not going to pay for you to do the life-saving chemo and surgery. And that happens. Wow. So the reason I mention that is because the plan matters. It's not just about saving money. You do want to save money wherever you can. And our costs for this plan are much lower than they would have been if we've stayed with teacher insurance. So we're saving about $8,000 a year compared to what we were paying for insurance through the teachers. And that was then. I haven't even looked at what it is now. I'm sure it's probably, I would think, more now. But we have a better plan that took care of us and allowed me to get the life-saving treatment. I didn't have to battle with somebody to say, no, I really need this. And I'm sure you've all heard stories where somebody sitting at Blue Cross says, no, that's too new and unproven. We're not going to do it. And it's not new and unproven, and they should do it, but it's expensive. And that's the last thing you need when you're fighting for your life. So I could not be more grateful. I wish I had not had to put this plan to the test, but I did. And that I have to share this story because you never think it's going to happen to you. And it doesn't run in my family. I'm not a smoker. I don't know, but it just happens, and just things happen, and you don't know when it's going to be. So you want to have something in place. So if and when it does happen, you don't have to add financial worry, stress, potential disaster onto your plate as you're fighting for your life. So wow. I couldn't be more enthusiastic about how important it is to have a great plan, and how great it is that we've got this amazing plan through set of plans through Clearwater. I see that
yes,
Gary has a question.
Yeah. Gary, go ahead.
Hi, it's great to meet you on video for the first time. So thrilled about that. I have a real question because it's relevant, because I have 6 children and their spouses, and they are all on either really bad, really expensive insurance, or they're going, cash and carry. And so I'm very concerned about them. And so I would like to talk to someone, or have them talk with my children, either in mass, online, or video, or what have you, because obviously our children are our greatest treasure. And so I want to, I'm really excited about this because, they're in their, 20s. The oldest is probably closer to 40. So, and now babies are being born. And so I'm really concerned.
Sure. I love that. And you're absolutely right. Our children are our greatest treasure. And even if those children have fur and 4 legs, they're still our greatest treasure.
Fur babies.
And they're never not our children, even when they're in their 40s. Okay, I get that. And here's what I want to share with you. eXp agents get a discount on the healthcare plans. We have not promoted this to individuals because that is cost prohibitive. It doesn't make any sense to do that. But you do have an avenue to enroll, give your family access to the plans, even if they're not eXp agents. And that is through, so they'll pay a little more, but it'll still be a great opportunity. So let me give you that link And what you can do is you can schedule a call with all of them. It might be hard to get all of them in one place at one time. So I'm just looking for the right link to grab for you. I love that you've asked this question because it is available to you to share with your family. Let's see.
Yeah, guys. And Margo, while you're doing that, is that, I talk to a lot of agents as well too, and I bring up healthcare because that's huge. Because we're 1099. We're not W-2 employees with benefits and all that stuff. And you wouldn't believe how many realtors are uninsured, and that's very, very scary. Because if something happens to them, I mean, that's devastating. For one, devastating financially. For two, and this is a win. And just like what Tracy said, to help your agent attraction efforts, if you bring this up, this could open up the door, just the healthcare, for them to join eXp, because I guarantee you, at Keller Williams, Central 21, Coldwell Banker, they're not offering healthcare. I promise you. I know that for a fact. And so this is absolutely huge. So yeah, Margo, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it is amazing, and it is wonderful to have so many influencers sharing their stories too. I know that Brent Gove talks about how his family, and he's got a whole slew of kids as well.
Yeah,
and they are, yeah. So he talks about how he is saving, I think it's $24,000 a year. So it varies, right? It depends. Not everybody's going to save that. That's highly unusual. Okay, so I found a link. Let me share this with you. This is our non-eXp link. I'll put it in the chat.
All right.
I'm going to be recruiting quite a few of those kids also.
What's that?
I'm going to be recruiting of those kids. My daughter-in-law in Austin has a license, never put it with a broker. My son and my wife are both agents. And so I think this is going to be a combination of those who are going to be in eXp and those who are going to be not.
Right. Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so I just dropped the link to the non-eXp agent. This is just the generic site. Okay. So you don't get the eXp discount there. But let me also give you the link to get book a call with one of our consultants, and they can get an estimate and a customized quote for how much it would be if they are with eXp. And they can get that right now. They don't have to wait to join.
That'd be great. Thank you. Is that the new link you posted?
Yes, Gary, it is. The one that ends in eXp Health is the one specifically for eXp agents or eXp agents to be.
Yep.
And by the way, y'all, everyone, you can use that link, the one I just dropped in there with eXp Health, to share with people you're talking to about joining eXp. They can get that quote ahead of time. And I'm telling you, we end up being like a third-party endorsement, and you can use that to help bring them over. We've had more than one go, that's it, this is the final decision-making factor, I am in. There are some that even do it right there on the spot. So let's see, we've got Jeff is asking, is that link for family and friends too? You can use the My Agent Health for family and friends, absolutely.
I love it. And I think Jeff Russell, are you still on vacation?
No, man, I'm just getting back to the time zone here.
Oh, there you are. All right, man. Hey, good to see you, buddy. How are you? I'm
great, man. Thanks for asking.
Good. Well, yeah. So definitely, guys, I encourage every single one of you guys to get a quote, and just check it out. Just check it out. You never know. You could be very surprised.
I actually have eXp Healthcare. I've had it for 4 years now. I left Kaiser, which was costing me $952 a month for the best healthcare they offer. I went to eXp's healthcare. I'm now paying $350 a month, and I get better healthcare. And I can go anywhere I want. So I'm a huge, and I've had a hernia surgery and a few other things. So it's great. It's been really great. It's kind of, I'll be honest, it is a little bit of work, submitting stuff. It's not as automated as Kaiser was. You go, you're done, but it's well worth it.
Man, that's huge. That's a great testimonial right there.
Thank you, Jeff. I have jotted your name down, and I'm glad to hear that you're so happy with it. And you're right, there can be a little bit of work, and we are developing things all the time to help smooth it out and make it a better experience over and all. Jeff, were you on the call at the very beginning when I dropped the news?
I wasn't, but I just got on. But I will add one more thing. when I had challenges, I reached out to either the healthcare people or even eXp healthcare people, and I've always been able to get help from them too. So
That's great. That's great.
So what
Fantastic.
happened at the beginning of the call I missed?
Oh, just this little thing where eXp is investing in Clearwater, and Glenn is on our board of directors now. Just that.
Nice. There goes our stock again. Awesome.
Good stuff.
I know. And it's for two huge reasons. One, because this is the level of commitment that eXp and Glenn have to the health of agents. Without our health, we cannot build wealth. We cannot help others. And also identifying that the opportunity to help hundreds of thousands, if not millions of other self-employed people in other industries is massive.
Wow.
Because it's a problem that's pervasive across all self-employed industries, people that have a lot of companies that have a lot of self-employed people. So it's very exciting.
eXp proud, man.
Yeah, eXp proud. That's right.
Great testimonial, Jeff. Love it. Love it.
Thanks.
Hope you had a good vacation. All right, guys. Yeah. Any other questions for Margot? I mean, she's the expert here. Any questions? Don't be shy. Unmute yourself. Turn on those cameras. I want to see those smiling faces on this beautiful Friday. Who's got healthcare questions? I mean, this is the time. We've got the expert here, and we've got a lot of good stuff happening here at eXp.
I have a question.
Yep, go ahead. Let's see who's that.
This is Sherry. Sherry of Sherry.
Oh, hey, Sherry. Yeah, there you are, Sherry and Rob. Hey, go ahead.
Could you talk a little bit more about the bio program? Can you go on that without being on Clearwater for people that are over 65 on Medicare?
You can, yes, you can enroll in Viome on your own. You don't have to do it through us. We are just we are partnering with them, but you can go straight to them, and you don't have to be enrolled in the healthcare plan.
And so that's like a eXp discount program?
That is wandering into outside my territory. I don't know exactly what the eXp arrangement is with Viome directly. I am familiar with what we are offering through our enrollment process. So I'm not sure about that. It's a great question. I should know that, even though it's not technically my territory, but you raise a good question. I'd like to understand better. So thank you.
How do you spell that? V-I-O-M?
Or V-I-O-M-E.
Yeah, V-I-O-M-E. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Margot, this is Raul again. I understand that eXp has partnered with Clearwater, and Glenn is on the board. Now, the plans that eXp is offering, if you enroll in their medical benefits, is it a group plan, or what kind of plan is it? Because a lot of times when you go join in a group plan, especially like big companies, and I come from a big company, they have group plans, which are a lot cheaper than individual plans if you try to go get an individual plan. So what type of plan is Clearwater offering through eXp?
Right, that's a great question. And you're right, because traditionally health insurance has been delivered in this country through employers. And typically the larger the employer is as far as number of employees, generally the better the plan options are going to be, although that just really depends on what the executives decide to offer. Self-insured plans, which are available to companies with, I think, 250 or more W-2s, are better typically, but it just all depends. There's so much that goes into making that particular sausage. You just do not want to see the whole thing, but you have a better understanding of it because you come from the big company side. And that means that if you are, because the plans have been employee sponsored group plans, by default, that means if you're a 1099, you don't have access to those. And that's been the crux of the problem. And what we realized, the founders of our company realized, was that there was a big opportunity if you could crack the code on how to provide plans that have group level plan value and lower prices. If there's a way to do that for self-employed people, we wanted to do that. And I was in the healthcare, I was in this industry before I joined Clearwater. And when the founder said to me, I have cracked the code on it, I said, well, you show me, because I know this is hard to do. I know that it's hard to do. So he showed me, and I realized that he had. And I think part of it is because Health insurance as an industry is lagging in technology, professionalism, services. It's not at the forefront. So there were opportunities to work harder and find a different way. And that's exactly what Jason Sherman did. And so what he created was a combination of an insurance plan for doctor visits, your checkups, your wellness, all that kind of stuff. And that has options. You can either have the skinny version that is just the checkups. And that is also eligible for a health savings account if you want to do that. Or you can have a copay version, which has copays to go see specialists. Costs more. You have to just talk through whether it makes sense for you or not. And then that's paired with medical cost sharing. And medical cost sharing is the most effective way to do big, expensive healthcare costs. So for example, because we're just cutting out the insurance company altogether. I don't know if you guys know Humana, an example of how fat that is. Humana, after the Affordable Care Act was enacted, their stock price has risen by, and they've never had a quarter in the red. Anybody want to guess how much their stock price has risen by since then? It's a big number, percentage-wise. What do you think?
35%.
1,000%.
Who said 1,000?
I did.
Greg?
Okay. All right, Greg, times 3. It was 3,000% on the backs of Americans.
Wow.
Holy
Not
crap.
right. It's not cool. So what we did was we cut them out. They're the ones with a person sitting in a cubicle going, how can I, save money? And so what this does is a medical cost sharing entity by definition cannot be for profit. It has to be not for profit. And that helps a lot. And it is also, some of them are tied to religions, and this one is not. So you don't have any of those, like the Good Samaritan, and some of those are fine, but a lot of them, because they're missions, they were grandfathered in. That was something that was allowed. They're not necessarily run like a business. So claims can take 6, 8, 10 months, so they have great intentions, but they aren't necessarily run all that well. And I'm not here to say that we run ours 100% like a tight ship. We are constantly working on how to improve. But this is how come the focus is on these plans in particular, because they are such great cost savings. They allow you to go to any doctor, any surgeon that you want to, and man, it matters. As you can see, I'm in Austin, Texas. I just shared with you that my doctor, who has a great reputation in Austin, missed the second form of cancer that he didn't see it. And by the way, he was looking at the same exact images of the biopsy that my MD Anderson doctors were looking at. They were looking at the same exact images.
Isn't that scary? That's so scary.
I know. And it matters because, and I asked my MD Anderson, I go, well, what percentage of the people you see had the wrong diagnosis? And he said 70, 70, because they just see so many more of them. So go to the best doctors you can when your life matters, especially when it comes down to a big diagnosis. All right, so going back to answering Raul's question. So we figured out a different way to deliver plans that produce way better benefits at a low cost. And part of that is cutting out the insurance company altogether. The second thing is 75% of the costs that we're going to incur for healthcare come after the age of 65. And no one can compete with Medicare. So we just don't do it. And that way we're reducing cost that the organization, that the nonprofit has to handle. And then thirdly, there's an incentive to avoid tobacco, which we know causes all kinds of problems. So that provides, we're able to be even more competitive, even more robust with the benefits that are offered. And that is a tremendous, it's just a tremendous value to so many people. Does that answer your question, Raul?
Yes, it does. But I have a follow-on question, which you just brought up.
You are welcome to ask that too.
How about, is it divided between a PPO and an HMO, this plans?
So the rest of you on this call, you can thank Raul for being so informed. He's asking questions that you might be thinking of or not thinking of. An HMO is the managed care that none of us want, where you have to get approval to see a specialist and all that kind of, nobody likes it. So we do not have that. You don't have to get approval to see a specialist and all of that. It is a PPO. So the healthcare part of it, the health insurance part of it, I should say, that is about doctor visits, your day-to-day, if you think of it, these are your well checks, your annual exams. For women, it's mammograms. For people over 50, it's screening colonoscopies. And then if you choose to be on the version of the plan that includes copays to go see specialists like allergists, I don't know what they're called, people who help you with allergy. And then maybe it's dermatology or what have you, then you're paying a copay to go see people in network, and there's a PPO network, or you pay a different higher copay to go see one out of network. And that's where the network, the need to stay with the network ends. Because once you're talking about a big need like cancer, or my husband has AFib and he needed to have an ablation, and all of that, it doesn't, there's no limitations on where you go. Now, our health and who our doctors are and how they take care of us is back in the hands of us and our doctors as patients. And that's absolutely the way it should be. The people who know the most should be in charge, not the people who are motivated to save the cost. So I just love that this is taking the best of both worlds and pulling them together, and it serves most people better. Now, there are a handful of people who have pre-existing conditions, and there are limitations on some, not all, on some of those. And for those people, we want to find a different plan for them, and we do have other plan options available. So that's where the consultants come in, and they're so happy to sit down and talk with you and understand what your unique needs and situations are. It's different phases of life. I am now kids out of the nest, they're in their 20s, they're trying to finish their educations and all that kind of stuff. So that's a whole different thing than I am losing my mind driving to soccer games, right? So, right? I'm not in the ER with broken ankles and stuff like that these days. Thankfully.
Right.
So understanding that and time of life and all of that is really key, so that we don't give you more than you need. We don't recommend more than you need, and we do recommend the right size and combination. And by the way, if you are enrolled in a healthcare plan, let's say that Jeff had been on a plan that was great for him. Maybe let's just pretend that Kaiser plan was great and we couldn't really do any better than that. The consultant will say, you know what, Jeff, we recommend you stay right there. That is the best plan for you. Let's chat again in a year. And we have a reputation for doing the right thing for the agent. And I love that. This is part of why eXp and Clearwater are symbiotic. We have very similar cultures being focused on what's right for the individual.
I love it. I love it. And also, Jason Sherman is one talented man. He is brilliant. He is smart. He actually helped me get my real estate business. And I think I told you this, Margot, a few years ago. Jason Sherman used to own a mortgage company up in Dallas, Texas. And we connected when I first got in the business 10 years ago. And he flew me up to Dallas and we masterminded. And he actually helped me get my real estate business off the ground 10 years ago. And so we go way back, and he is very talented and just one amazing individual.
He is. He is. Yeah. And so you can imagine how he felt when Glenn called him directly and said, come visit me in Washington.
Yep.
And so, he realized then, he's been realizing all along that he's onto something that is fixing a really big need. And it's interesting, whenever you do solve a big problem, it takes a while to get traction. And then once you get but that can take years, which it did. But here we are today. And, so grateful for Glenn Sanford and the rest of this company, all the influencers. It has been the most rewarding professional experience I've had. And I've worked with a lot of different companies over the years, but working with eXp has been unlike anything else I have ever done. People are so collaborative. They're so, how can we help each other? We all benefit when we help each other. it's enlightened self-interest. And I don't know why that is so hard to understand in other cultures, but it is.
Yep.
But man, it is deep at eXp.
It is. I love it. One team, one dream, team eXp, baby. That's it.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, any other questions for Margot while we have a few more minutes left?
No,
here?
Hey, Margot?
Yeah.
What's your service area? Are you everywhere we are?
US. Yeah, in fact, there are some people, as you probably know, at eXp who have homes in Puerto Rico, which is, I don't even know what to call that. I think we call it a territory or something, but is very fuzzy when it comes to this kind of thing. But here's the situation. If you have a US address and if you spend some of your time in Puerto Rico or wherever, that's fine. One of the things I love about this plan is if you travel, the plan goes with you. I don't know how many of you have heard Aaron. I can't think of his last name. Aaron was on an island in the Bahamas, a small one. I want to say Exuma, where he has a place, and he had a stroke. And he's on our plane. He's enrolled in our plane, or I would not be telling you this story. He had a stroke, and they had to life flight him to Nassau, where they have proper hospitals and, stroke treatment and all that kind of stuff. And he finally got better, and all is well. And he's like, this is never going to be paid for. Life flights, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. It depends, but no, it was paid for. He paid his deductible, his out-of-pocket amount, and the plan paid the rest, because it's not only taking care of you as long as you remain in your state or your region or the US. Wow. But you do need a US address. So if you live in Canada, and we get a lot of people in Canada ask us about this, but not available anywhere outside the US otherwise.
Wow, that's a huge story.
I know. There's so many.
Yeah, there is. There really is. Yep. It is crazy. All right, guys. Well, we got a few more minutes left. Any other questions for Margot? This has been great.
Margot, can you put your point of contact in the chat?
Yes.
Your contact information.
Absolutely. I'm on Workplace, for one thing.
Yep.
And as far as getting a quote and finding more details out about the plan, I will refer you to my colleagues, Clearwater Savings, on that link that I shared before, because I don't have access to pricing and all of that kind of stuff anymore. I am not focused on talking specifically about giving quotes. I'm more focused on the big picture. So I want to make sure that I'm clear on what I can and can't do for you. So there's my email. Yes, that's right. I'm in Workplace. And something else I want to offer to you is that if you are talking to not only agents, but teams, and you're thinking about bringing a team over, you can bring me in to have a conversation with the team leads to talk about the plans at an overview, and to offer that link so that they can get an estimate, a quote before they start. A question I want to answer that a lot of people ask is, do you have to have a minimum production level? Do you need to be with eXp a certain number of days? No. We have talked to lots of people day one, and we're here to help. So it's great.
That's awesome. Even better.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Love it. What do you guys think? Good stuff, huh? You guys learned something?
So healthcare, so I love to ask this question. When you think of shopping for health insurance, what words come to mind? Keep it clean. I believe this is a family show, so
yeah.
But be real and tell me what it is.
Stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Tedious. Exhausting. Yeah.
Don't really understand it.
What's that?
Don't really understand it.
Yeah, it's very confusing, isn't it? And I think what's interesting about how confusing it is that you look at the words and you're like, I know those words, but I don't think they mean exactly the same thing in this context. So I feel like it's almost on purpose confusing. And I think that is part of the challenge. So that's annoying. What's out-of-pocket max? What's a deductible? What do you mean by true out-of-pocket max? What's annual out-of-pocket max? And there's things that are outside of that. So it's not really the max, all that kind of stuff. It's very, very frustrating and confusing. And as a result, when people think about, oh, I need to do that. I need to book a call. I need to find out health insurance. And then you think it's stressful. It's confusing. I don't understand it. It makes me feel dumb. It's tedious. It's bored. It's important, but horrible. And so we try to make it important and not so horrible so that you are motivated to do something about it. Everybody understands it's not a pleasant, it's not like, let's go buy a car. It's not fun, but it is important. And we try to take all the stress, as much of the stress and the tedium and confusion out of it as possible.
Love it. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, any other questions here? If not, we'll wrap it up and let you guys go enjoy this beautiful Friday. Any other questions here from Margot?
Thank you very much.
Sorry, can I
Margot.
just ask? So it's pretty self-explanatory. We just go to this link, and then
Yeah.
that's kind of like how it starts the process of getting a quote and all that.
Yep, book a
Right.
call.
You got
Okay.
it. Trying to make it straightforward. There's one step. Click the link.
There we go.
Yeah.
Everybody grab the link.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Well,
I haven't had health insurance in like 3 years. So
oh my
And
goodness.
as long as nothing's happened, it's great. But you don't know, you're playing Russian roulette,
Yes.
So
Yes.
nobody likes doing that with your health. So good for you for there's no shame for anybody who hasn't done it yet. Okay. Because today's a new day and we can all jump on board when we jump on board. Better now than never. So
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. You never know.
You don't. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
It's always so much fun. The energy on your calls, Pat, is phenomenal.
I love it. I love it. Well, thanks so much for bringing the value and having fun with us here on this beautiful Friday here. And guys, hope you guys learned something. This is big stuff for Glenn to do what he did, just like what Margot said. So you heard Tracy's testimonial. You've heard a few other testimonials. And so definitely go book a call and go get a quote. And I'd love to hear y'all's testimonials and your savings as well too. So don't be afraid to go do this. This is huge. And so Stephanie, just like what you said, you haven't had health insurance in 3 years. I mean, that's scary. And I know a lot of other agents that are in the same boat and they haven't had health insurance for longer than that. And you just never know, whenever something's going to happen. And so you definitely want to be insured, because if not, it's devastating financially, and we want everybody to be safe and be healthy. So Glenn's definitely taken a big initiative to do what he's doing, and he is freaking looking amazing. My gosh, sometimes I barely recognize him in pictures. He looks so much younger and healthier and happy. He really does.
He does.
So super, super proud of him. So Margot, thank you guys so much. This is being recorded, and Ian, if you're still there, I know we'll get the recording out to us, and I'll share it with you guys. But guys, have a blessed weekend. Have a great Friday. Let's get healthy and get that call booked. And Margot, again, thank you so much. And I'll definitely be in touch with you guys. Love you guys. Thanks so much. Have a great Friday. Have a good weekend.